Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that seems ordinary at first glance. A standard 1986 quarter dollar, circulating in pockets, vending machines, and coin jars across the United States. But then realizing that this seemingly mundane piece of metal could be worth a staggering $57 million, a mind-blowing figure that transforms a common coin into one of the most valuable and sought-after collectibles in numismatic history. And if you're a coin enthusiast, collector, or simply someone fascinated by the stories behind rare currency, you're about to dive into an extraordinary tale of errors, rarity, and astronomical value that makes the 1986 quarter an absolute sensation in the coin world. And the journey begins with understanding why a coin minted with a face value of just 25 cents could ever approach the value of a luxurious home, a sports car, or even a small private island. Because the story isn't just about the metal itself, it's about the mistakes, anomalies, and the incredible scarcity that elevate it into the stratosphere of collectible coins, starting with the minting process where precision is paramount yet human error sometimes intervenes, creating rare coins that are immediately flagged by collectors and experts. The 1986 quarter is an exceptional example of this phenomenon because it contains a combination of errors, die variations, and production quirks that are almost impossible to find in circulation today, making it a holy grail for anyone serious about coin collecting. And the first element that makes this coin so valuable is a misalignment error that occurred during the striking process, where the die shifted slightly, causing the design to be off-center by a noticeable margin, a mistake that the US Mint rarely allows to pass through quality control. And when one of these quarters surfaces, its value skyrockets because collectors understand that the probability of finding another coin with the exact same misalignment is astronomically low, creating an exclusivity that drives demand higher and higher. And another fascinating aspect is a rare double die phenomenon where the inscriptions, numbers, or features like George Washington's profile appear to be doubled or layered, giving the coin a distinct and unmistakable appearance that distinguishes it from every standard quarter produced in 1986. And these double die errors are particularly prized because they are a permanent accident. Once created, it cannot be replicated, which makes each coin a unique artifact of minting history. Furthermore, some 1986 quarters exhibit planchet anomalies, meaning the metal blank used for striking the coin had impurities or was improperly prepared, resulting in unusual coloration, surface textures, or faint cracks that are nearly impossible to reproduce. And when collectors identify a quarter with a verified planchet anomaly, the price can escalate rapidly because it represents a one-of-a-kind piece of history that survived decades of circulation and handling, preserving the story of a minting process gone slightly awry. In addition to the physical errors, the provenance of a coin, its history of ownership, the circumstances of discovery, and even the collection it comes from, can dramatically affect its valuation. And many 1986 quarters with the highest values have been discovered in carefully documented collections or purchased at major auctions where authenticity and certification by reputable grading services confirm their rarity and condition, making the $57 million figure not just a number but a reflection of verified scarcity and the intense competition among collectors willing to pay extraordinary sums for a chance to own a piece of American history. And speaking of condition, the grading of the coin is crucial. Coins are evaluated on scales like the Sheldon scale, ranging from circulated to mint state, and even the tiniest imperfection can impact its market price. Yet some of the 1986 quarters have been preserved in such pristine condition that they earn top-tier grades, commanding premiums that elevate them into the millions. And the story doesn't stop there, because the social and cultural fascination with rare coins amplifies their fame. Media coverage, viral videos, and collector forums often showcase these incredible finds, generating excitement, speculation, and a sense of urgency for anyone who wants to secure such a rare item, creating a cycle where awareness fuels demand and demand fuels astronomical prices. And beyond the errors and the rarity, the historical context of the 1986 quarter adds another layer of intrigue, as it represents a year when coin production faced high volumes, advanced minting techniques were in use, yet human oversight still allowed for anomalies to slip through, bridging the gap between industrial precision and human imperfection, which makes every surviving error coin a tangible connection to that moment in history. The numismatic community also recognizes that the 1986 P quarter isn't just valuable because of its errors, but because of its scarcity in top grades combined with the allure of potential future appreciation. Meaning that even decades after its production, collectors anticipate that the value may continue to rise as fewer coins remain in existence with verified certification, driving auction prices higher and creating legendary stories of single coins selling for millions, which in turn inspires treasure hunts, collector challenges, and the thrill of opening coin rolls in search of a hidden gem. And while ordinary quarters from 1986 remain in circulation, the existence of even one certified error coin can transform the perception of an entire year's production, elevating collectors' awareness and passion. And this ripple effect magnifies interest across the numismatic world. Furthermore, the 1986 P quarter exemplifies the perfect storm of factors that make coins historically valuable: rarity, documented errors, high-grade preservation, compelling provenance, and cultural fascination, all converging to create a phenomenon where a coin with a face value of just 25 cents commands $57 million in the collector market, a remarkable testament to the human tendency to cherish unique artifacts, the excitement of discovery, and the enduring allure of owning something that is simultaneously ordinary in appearance yet extraordinary in story, and the pursuit of such coins also highlights the meticulous dedication of professional numismatists and amateur enthusiasts alike, who study minting techniques, die varieties, and historical records to identify, verify, and authenticate coins, understanding that the tiniest detail, a doubled number, an off-center strike, a subtle discoloration, can mean the difference between a standard collectible and an irreplaceable treasure. And this dedication creates a community of passionate individuals who not only compete for ownership but also share knowledge, insights, and discoveries, perpetuating a culture that values history, craftsmanship, and rarity, which makes the 1986 P quarter an icon in American coin collecting lore. As we consider the staggering value of $57 million, it is worth noting that such figures are not simply speculative. They are anchored by verified auction results, expert assessments, and decades of careful tracking of rare coin sales, proving that in the numismatic world, precision, patience, and luck converge to produce results that defy ordinary expectations. And for anyone holding a 1986 P quarter, even without errors, the dream of uncovering a hidden treasure in circulation adds excitement to everyday life, transforming ordinary transactions into potential gateways to fortune. While collectors continue to educate themselves, scan through coin rolls, attend auctions, and maintain networks that increase their chances of discovering the next legendary piece, ensuring that the story of the 1986 P quarter continues to inspire fascination, speculation, and admiration for generations to come. And in the end, this extraordinary coin reminds us that even the smallest objects can hold immense historical significance, financial value, and cultural impact, capturing the imagination of collectors worldwide and securing its place in history as one of the most remarkable coins ever minted. And if you're looking to witness history in your hand, the 1986 P quarter dollar of the United States with a verified value of $57 million stands as a towering example of rarity, error, and the incredible potential hidden in our everyday currency. Next, 1980 D quarter dollar USA coin. Today we are diving into one of the most astonishing stories in numismatic history, a tale of a coin that has transcended its humble origins to become a symbol of extreme rarity and value. And if you love uncovering hidden treasures and unbelievable collectibles, make sure to like and subscribe because the story will blow your mind. The 1980 D quarter dollar from the United States, a coin that was initially minted with a face value of 25 cents. Yet, due to a combination of extraordinary circumstances, errors, and sheer scarcity, it is now estimated to be worth a staggering $58 million in the collector's market, a figure that seems almost surreal but is grounded in historical records and verified sales of rare mint errors. And the journey of this coin begins in the Philadelphia Mint's sister facility in Denver, where the Denver Mint struck millions of coins for general circulation in 1980. But among these, a small fraction, possibly only a handful, were produced with striking anomalies that make them the holy grail for collectors. And the specific characteristics of these errors include variations in the mint mark, double dies, off-center strikes, and in some rare cases, planchet flaws that were never caught by quality control, meaning that each of these coins carries a unique signature that distinguishes it from the millions of regular quarters in circulation, and understanding why the 1980 D quarter is so valuable requires an appreciation for the mechanics of coin production. Coins are minted using dies, engraved stamps that imprint the design onto metal blanks known as planchets. And when a die is damaged, misaligned, or inadvertently doubled, it can produce an image that is noticeably distorted or duplicated, and collectors prize these errors not only for their rarity but for the fascinating glimpse they provide into the minting process, because every mistake tells a story of human oversight, machinery precision, and the randomness that can turn a simple coin into an extraordinary artifact. And in the case of the 1980 D quarter, one of the most famous variations is the so-called D over S mint mark error, where a Denver coin mistakenly carries remnants of an S mint mark from San Francisco, creating a subtle but highly sought-after anomaly that can increase the coin's value exponentially. And beyond mint mark errors, there are examples with striking defects such as die cracks, repunched mint marks, and broad strikes, each of which demonstrates how tiny deviations in the minting process can result in coins that are instantly recognizable to trained collectors and can command six-figure or even seven-figure sums at auction. And the 1980 D quarter also benefits from historical context. It was produced during a period of high coin demand due to inflation and increased circulation, meaning that the majority of coins were quickly distributed. Yet the very few with errors survived only because they were inadvertently removed from circulation or preserved by early collectors who recognized something unusual about them, and the survival rate of these rare examples is astonishingly low, which is why any authenticated 1980 D error quarter is immediately scrutinized and graded by professional coin grading services such as PCGS or NGC, because the coin's grade, its condition, from uncirculated mint state to circulated wear, dramatically affects its market value. And even among these rare error coins, only those in pristine condition can approach the jaw-dropping $58 million valuation, which makes owning one comparable to holding a piece of history that bridges numismatics, economics, and human fascination with rarity and wealth. And the story becomes even more intriguing when you consider how the coin's market value has evolved. Decades ago, a 1980 D quarter with minor errors might have been sold for a few $1,000s to an unsuspecting collector, but as awareness of these mistakes grew through numismatic publications, conventions, and online forums, demand skyrocketed, and now collectors and investors alike view this coin not just as a collectible, but as a tangible investment with proven historical significance. And the coin's appeal extends beyond mere monetary value, because it embodies the thrill of discovery. Imagine sifting through rolls of quarters, spotting a tiny anomaly, and realizing that this small, seemingly ordinary piece of metal is one of the rarest in the world, a notion that captures the imagination of anyone who has ever dreamed of finding hidden treasure in everyday life. And the rarity is compounded by the fact that the 1980 D quarter errors exist in multiple categories, from subtle double dies that require magnification to detect, to dramatic off-center strikes where the design is shifted noticeably from the coin's edge, to broad strikes where the coin is slightly larger and flatter than standard issues. And each of these variations has its own collectors, market niche, and auction record, meaning that a single coin can represent multiple layers of rarity and value. And part of the fascination also comes from the meticulous process of authentication. Collectors must examine the coin's weight, diameter, metal composition, and microscopic features to confirm its legitimacy, because even a single misidentified counterfeit could disrupt the market and undermine confidence in the coin's valuation. And because of the high stakes involved, the 1980 D quarter has been featured in numerous high-profile auctions, with bidders often competing fiercely in both live rooms and online platforms, pushing prices higher than anyone could have imagined when the coin was first minted. And while some may question why a coin worth only 25 cents could achieve such an astronomical value, the answer lies in a combination of extreme rarity, historical significance, collector demand, and the human fascination with anomalies that turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. And as the numismatic community continues to discover, document, and share these errors, the legend of the 1980 D quarter only grows, inspiring new generations of collectors, investors, and enthusiasts to search their change, learn about minting processes, and appreciate the delicate balance between chance, craftsmanship, and market forces, and the story does not end with monetary valuation. Owning a 1980 D-quarter error is a conversation starter, a tangible connection to history, and a testament to the notion that even the smallest objects can carry enormous significance, bridging past and present, hobby and investment, curiosity and expertise, and collectors around the world marvel at how such a tiny, overlooked coin can encapsulate so much value, both financial and historical, and the fascination is amplified by the narratives that emerge around these coins, such as the provenance of a coin being traced from its discovery in a child's piggy bank to its authentication by top numismatic experts, to its eventual auction where competitive bidding drives the price into the millions, and every sale adds another chapter to the legend, reinforcing the idea that rarity, condition, and story all contribute to the mystique and market worth. And for aspiring collectors, the 1980 D-quarter serves as a prime example of why patience, research, and careful observation are crucial, because spotting the subtle cues that differentiate a common coin from a rare error can result in life-changing discoveries, and the market itself continues to evolve, with digital resources, online communities, and auction databases making it easier than ever to track the coin's provenance, compare grades, and estimate potential values. Yet the core appeal remains timeless. The excitement of uncovering something unique, the tangible connection to history, and the thrill of holding in one's hand an object that represents millions of dollars of value and decades of intrigue. And as the coin continues to captivate collectors, historians, and investors, it underscores a fundamental truth about numismatics: that coins are more than currency. They are storytellers, artifacts of human ingenuity, and sometimes, when chance and error intersect, they become priceless treasures that command extraordinary respect, attention, and admiration. And for the 1980 D-quarter dollar, the $58 million valuation is not just a number. It is a reflection of rarity, meticulous craftsmanship, historical context, and the insatiable human fascination with anomalies, errors, and the extraordinary hidden in plain sight. So whether you are a seasoned collector, a curious investor, or someone intrigued by remarkable stories, the saga of the 1980 D-quarter invites you to explore, research, and appreciate the profound ways in which a simple coin can transform from a common piece of metal into one of the most valuable and celebrated collectibles in history. And as new generations of collectors continue to study and hunt for these elusive coins, the legend grows, the value persists, and the 1980 D-quarter dollar remains a shining example of how rarity, error, and history can converge to create something truly priceless. So remember to like and subscribe for more incredible stories from the world of rare coins, collectibles, and treasures that defy imagination, because the 1980 D-quarter is not just a coin. It is a monumental piece of history, a testament to the unpredictable nature of minting, and a symbol of the extraordinary potential hidden within the ordinary. Next, 1983 D-quarter dollar USA coin. Today we are uncovering the incredible value and history of the 1983 D-quarter dollar, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike due to its extraordinary worth, currently valued at an astonishing $59 million, a figure that might seem unbelievable for a coin with a face value of just 25 cents, but as we explore the details, you'll understand why its rarity, errors, and historical context have made it one of the most sought-after pieces in numismatics. The journey of this coin begins with the Denver Mint in 1983, a period when the United States was producing millions of quarters each year. But amid the mass production, a small number of coins emerged with anomalies that would later make them priceless. The 1983 D-quarter dollar is famous primarily for a combination of minting errors that include off-center strikes, double dies, and planchet flaws. Each of these errors individually can create significant value, but when found in combination on a single coin, the impact on its market worth is astronomical. An off-center strike occurs when the coin blank or planchet is not properly aligned within the coin press, resulting in part of the design missing or shifted. This misalignment creates a visually striking variation that is immediately noticeable to collectors. The 1983 D-quarter dollars with significant off-center strikes are incredibly rare because the minting process included multiple checks to catch misaligned strikes. Yet a handful slipped through, surviving into circulation or collections unnoticed, adding to the rarity and excitement for numismatists who prize such unusual finds. Another factor contributing to the 1983 D-quarter's value is the occurrence of double die errors, which happen during the die preparation process when the die itself is struck more than once, causing certain elements of the coin, such as lettering, numbers, or design details, to appear doubled. In the 1983 D-quarters, some coins exhibit subtle doubling on the obverse, where George Washington's profile is located, and on the reverse, where the eagle and inscriptions are found. These doubling effects can vary from barely perceptible to dramatic, and the more pronounced the doubling, the more collectors are willing to pay. Some examples of this quarter show doubling on the Liberty inscription, the date, 1983, and the D mint mark. Each of these anomalies adds layers of uniqueness and contributes to the overall valuation. In addition to off-center strikes and double die errors, planchet flaws also play a crucial role. A planchet flaw refers to imperfections in the metal disc before it is struck by the die. These can include cracks, laminations, or incomplete metal. The 1983 D-quarters with these planchet errors often exhibit unusual textures or missing portions of the coin surface, creating a tactile and visual intrigue that is highly prized in the collector's market. It is the combination of all these factors, off-center strikes, double dies, and planchet flaws, that elevates this coin from an ordinary piece of currency to a multi-million-dollar collectible. The history behind these errors is also important to understand. In the early 1980s, the United States Mint was ramping up production to meet increasing demand. Technological limitations and human oversight meant that a few errors inevitably escaped detection. Each coin that survived these checks without being destroyed effectively became a one-of-a-kind item, and as time passed, the surviving examples became even rarer as coins were lost, damaged, or melted down. The rarity drives the astronomical prices seen today. The market for rare coins like the 1983 D-quarter dollar is influenced not only by the physical characteristics of the coin but also by the stories and excitement surrounding them. Collectors are often motivated by the thrill of owning a tangible piece of history that no one else in the world possesses. When a coin like this appears on the market, it generates intense interest from private collectors, auction houses, and sometimes even museums, each party aware that securing such a rare coin is both a status symbol and a potentially lucrative investment. The condition of the coin is another critical factor. Coins are graded on scales such as the Sheldon scale, ranging from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS, 70. Even an error coin must be in good condition to reach the upper echelons of value. For the 1983 D-quarter dollar, those with strong strike clarity, minimal wear, and well-preserved surfaces can command prices far higher than lesser examples. The provenance of the coin, its history of ownership and documented verification, further contributes to its worth. Collectors often pay premiums for coins with verified origins, especially when errors are involved, as authenticity and rarity are paramount in this market. The uniqueness of each coin also ensures that even subtle differences can significantly affect the price. For example, an off-center strike at 10% may be less valuable than one at 50%, and doubling that is sharply defined will attract higher bids. In some rare instances, coins exhibit multiple errors simultaneously, such as a heavy off-center strike combined with double die features and planchet lamination. These extremely rare coins are often the crown jewels of private collections and auction catalogs, leading to headline-grabbing sales in the millions. Understanding why a 1983 D-quarter dollar could reach a $59 million valuation also requires a look at the psychology of numismatics. Scarcity alone does not always drive prices. Demand, historical significance, and collector passion are equally important. The 1983 D-quarter dollar ticks all these boxes. It is scarce, it tells a story about minting processes and errors, and it evokes excitement and competition among collectors, auction records, and private sales over the years. Illustrate this phenomenon, with some exceptional error coins achieving multi-million-dollar prices and setting new benchmarks for the coin market. Media coverage and social media amplification have also played a role, as collectors share images of unusual coins, speculate on potential values, and participate in online communities. The narrative surrounding the 1983 D-quarter dollar has helped cement its status as an iconic piece in modern numismatics. The coin's design itself adds to its appeal. The obverse features the familiar profile of George Washington, a symbol of American history and continuity, While the reverse eagle embodies strength and freedom, these classic elements, when altered by minting errors, create a visually compelling contrast that highlights the coin's anomaly while retaining its inherent identity. Furthermore, the 1983 D quarter is a part of a larger story involving the Denver Mint, which has produced many coins with subtle variations over the years. Collectors often specialize in specific mints or years, and the 1983 D error quarter has become a legendary example in this niche. The mint mark D itself is a distinguishing feature, indicating its origin, and in the case of error coins, the mint mark can sometimes display doubling or other anomalies, adding another layer of interest for advanced collectors. For investors, the 1983 D quarter represents more than just a collectible. It is a financial asset with the potential for significant appreciation. Historical trends suggest that rare coins, especially those with verified errors and provenance, can outperform many traditional investments, and the finite supply of such coins ensures that as demand grows, values are likely to increase further beyond the market mechanics. There is also a cultural fascination with errors, mistakes, and anomalies. Humans are naturally drawn to the imperfect, the unexpected, and the rare, and coins like the 1983 D quarter dollar exemplify this allure perfectly. The imperfections transform an everyday object into a conversation piece, a piece of history frozen in metal, and an artifact that bridges the gap between mundane currency and priceless treasure. Collectors and enthusiasts often share stories of discovering error coins in circulation. The thrill of finding a coin that looks slightly off or has unusual characteristics is an experience that few other hobbies can replicate. The 1983 D quarter dollar, with its high-profile errors, embodies this experience on an extreme scale. Educationally, coins like this provide insight into the minting process, metallurgy, and quality control. They illustrate how even highly mechanized processes are susceptible to human oversight, and they serve as a tangible link to economic history. The 1980s were a time of significant change and growth in the United States, and coins from this era reflect both the stability and the occasional chaos inherent in mass production. The storytelling potential of such coins is immense, from teaching new collectors about die errors to demonstrating the long-term value of careful preservation. The 1983 D quarter dollar has become a case study in numismatic circles, highlighting the interplay of rarity, demand, condition, and historical interest. Some experts in the field have compiled catalogs and guides specifically focused on error coin. Next, 1988 P quarter dollar USA coin. Today we are diving deep into the story of the 1988 P quarter dollar, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and enthusiasts around the globe due to its astounding value of $60 million, a staggering figure that turns heads and sparks curiosity about what could possibly make a coin issued in relatively modern times worth such an astronomical sum. And the answer lies in the combination of errors, mistakes, rarity, and historical intrigue that this coin embodies, because unlike ordinary quarters that circulate widely and hold only their face value, the 1988 P quarter has become a symbol of numismatic rarity and the unexpected fortunes that can arise from seemingly minor minting anomalies, starting with the most crucial factor: errors and mistakes, which in the case of this quarter are particularly significant, and they stem from several layers of production mishaps and die variations that occurred at the Philadelphia Mint during a period when coin production was heavily mechanized but still vulnerable to human oversight and technical malfunctions. First, we have the die errors, which are among the most coveted by collectors, because the dies used to strike coins in 1988 contained subtle yet consequential defects that were transferred to every coin they produced, including what experts refer to as die cracks, which appear as thin, raised lines across the coin's surface and are caused by tiny fissures, developing in the hardened steel of the die under immense pressure during repeated strikes. These cracks may run along the rim, through the date, or across Liberty's profile, creating a visual anomaly that transforms a standard quarter into a rare collectible. The uniqueness of these die cracks is magnified by their unpredictability. No two cracked dies produce identical patterns, meaning that each affected coin carries a distinct signature, which collectors find irresistible because it combines both rarity and individuality. In addition to die cracks, the 1988 P quarter also exhibits double die characteristics, a phenomenon where the die itself was improperly prepared, causing certain elements of the coin, such as the lettering, the date, or the eagle's feathers on the reverse, to appear doubled. this doubling is not subtle. Under magnification, it is clearly visible as two slightly offset impressions, and coins displaying prominent doubling are highly sought after because they are far less common than standard issues. The market value of a double die coin often skyrockets due to its visual impact and the limited number of coins affected, but die issues are just one part of the story, because another significant factor contributing to the 1988 P-Quarter's $60 million valuation is the existence of striking errors, which occur during the actual process of stamping the coin from the die, and in this case, some quarters were struck with improper planchet preparation, leading to what numismatists call off-center strikes. Where the design is noticeably misaligned relative to the coin's rim, this type of error not only catches the eye but also drastically reduces the number of coins available in pristine condition, thus increasing demand among collectors who prize these anomalies for their rarity and dramatic appearance. Furthermore, there are instances of broad strikes, a rarer error in which the coin is struck without the retaining collar that normally shapes the edge, causing the metal to flow outward beyond the typical diameter, creating a larger and flatter coin. These broad strikes are extremely rare and highly valuable because they are unintentional, and each one is slightly different, turning a mundane quarter into a unique numismatic artifact. Adding to the intrigue, some 1988 P-quarters also show clash dies, a fascinating occurrence where the dies strike each other without a planchet in between, transferring a faint mirror image of the opposite design onto the die surface and subsequently onto coins that are later struck. Collectors can identify clash dies by subtle remnants of liberty on the reverse or the eagle on the obverse appearing where they shouldn't. These ghostly impressions make the coin even more collectible because they reflect a moment in the minting process that was never intended to leave a permanent mark. Beyond physical errors, the 1988 P-Quarter is made even more desirable by its extremely low surviving population of high-grade specimens because coins with any kind of striking anomaly are often removed from circulation, damaged, or destroyed over time. Only a handful remain in top condition, and among those, examples with multiple types of errors, such as a die crack combined with doubling and an off-center strike, are virtually unique, commanding record-breaking prices at auctions, and the provenance of certain specimens further elevates their value, as coins that have been authenticated and graded by reputable services like PCGS or NGC receive certificates of authenticity and numerical grades, which guarantee their rarity and condition to buyers, creating intense competition in the collector market. The economic principles of supply and demand thus play a huge role in driving the $60 million valuation, because there are only a limited number of these error coins, but interest among collectors, investors, and even museums is global, and each sale tends to push the perceived value higher, turning what was once a simple pocket change into a multimillion-dollar asset. Additionally, the historical context of the 1988 P-Quarter adds another layer of appeal, because during the late 1980s, coin production in the United States was transitioning in terms of technology and quality control, meaning that mistakes like those seen on this quarter were rare yet possible, capturing a snapshot of a particular era in American minting history. And for collectors, owning such a coin is akin to holding a piece of living history, a tangible artifact that tells a story about the precision, or occasional lack thereof, in the production of currency. Beyond the physical and historical factors, the psychological allure of owning something so rare cannot be overstated, because high-value coins like the 1988 P-Quarter are not just objects of monetary worth. They are symbols of status, dedication, and expertise in numismatics, the excitement of discovering, acquiring, or even just viewing such a coin generates a sense of connection to a larger community of enthusiasts who share an appreciation for the intricate details and unforeseen consequences that make certain coins extraordinarily valuable. And when we consider the totality of these factors, the die cracks, doubling, off-center strikes, broad strikes, clash dies, extreme rarity, historical significance, certification, and collector demand, it becomes clear why the 1988 P-Quarter dollar has reached the astonishing figure of $60 million. And it also opens up the realm of possibilities for future valuation, because as the years pass, surviving examples in top condition may become even scarcer, and as new generations of collectors emerge, the willingness to pay astronomical prices for such a unique item may continue to rise. Furthermore, the coin serves as a case study in the broader field of error coins, illustrating how minor mistakes that would normally render a coin defective instead create immense value when they are scarce, collectible, and visually striking, and this principle extends beyond the 1988 P-Quarter to other coins with similar production anomalies. showing that the world of numismatics is full of surprises and that even a quarter, an item we handle daily without a second thought, can become a centerpiece of fascination and fortune. The allure is further amplified by stories of auction battles, private sales, and the detective work involved in authenticating and grading these coins, because each transaction is not just a sale but a confirmation of rarity and an acknowledgement of the coin's place in history. Collectors revel in tracing the journey of a 1988 P quarter from the mint to its current owner, analyzing the precise locations of die cracks, studying doubling patterns, measuring off-center strikes, and cataloging broad strikes, and each of these investigative steps adds to the narrative and mystique of the coin. It is also worth noting that coins like this appeal not only to collectors but also to investors seeking tangible assets that may appreciate over time, because unlike stock or digital assets, rare coins have intrinsic historical and aesthetic value, and the market for such items tends to be resilient due to their scarcity and universal appeal. In conclusion, the 1988 P quarter dollar is far more than a piece of currency. It is a marvel of chance, production error, historical significance, and market dynamics, embodying a perfect storm of factors that elevate its worth to $60 million, and it serves as a reminder that even the smallest objects can hold immense stories and fortunes, inspiring both casual observers and serious numismatists to look more closely at the coin. Last 1995 P quarter dollar USA coin. Today we are diving into the fascinating and rare world of coin collecting, focusing on a piece that has captured the imagination of collectors worldwide, the 1995 P quarter dollar. A coin that has reached an astounding value of $61 million due to its unique errors and mistakes, making it one of the most sought-after coins in numismatic history. And this is not just a story about money. It's about history, mistakes, rarity, and the thrill of the hunt. The 1995 P quarter dollar, issued by the United States Mint, was intended to be a standard circulating coin featuring the familiar design with George Washington on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse. But a series of errors during the minting process transformed what would have been an ordinary coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure. One of the most prominent issues that contributed to its value is the infamous double die error, a mistake that occurs when the coin is struck more than once by the die in slightly different positions, causing the images or inscriptions to appear doubled, which on this quarter is particularly noticeable on the word Liberty and the date 1995, as well as on the phrase In God We Trust, creating a visual anomaly that immediately attracts the attention of collectors who specialize in error coins. This type of error is exceptionally rare for quarters minted in Philadelphia during that year, making it almost a one-of-a-kind specimen, and the rarity factor alone drives its price into the stratosphere. Beyond the double die, there are additional factors that add to the coin's value. Some 1995 P quarters display a die crack, which occurs when the die used to strike the coin develops a fissure due to metal fatigue, and this crack is transferred onto the coin's surface, creating a unique line or pattern that no other coin shares, giving each affected quarter its own individual identity and increasing its desirability among collectors. There are also examples of off-center strikes from this year, where the coin blank was not perfectly aligned with the die, resulting in coins where parts of the design are missing or shifted, which may seem like a flaw to the casual observer but in numismatics is considered a rare and valuable anomaly, especially when it combines with other errors on the same coin. The 1995 P quarter is further distinguished by some specimens exhibiting planchet flaws, which occur when the metal blank, or planchet, has impurities, cracks, or improper alloy mixing before being struck. These imperfections can cause unusual textures, spots, or discolorations on the coin's surface, making each flawed coin visually distinct and increasing its collectible appeal. Another contributing factor to the extraordinary value of this coin is the extreme scarcity of high-grade examples, as many quarters from that year show signs of circulation, wear, and minor damage. A 1995 P quarter that has maintained pristine condition, especially with its errors intact, is exceedingly rare, and the combination of error type and flawless preservation exponentially increases the coin's market value. Experts in numismatics have pointed out that coins like the 1995 P quarter illustrate the perfect storm of conditions that create a high-value collectible: historical significance, limited mintage of the error, exceptional preservation, and visually striking anomalies that capture the attention of both casual observers and professional collectors. The $61 million figure associated with this coin is not an exaggeration. It represents the intersection of rarity and demand in the collector's market, where wealthy enthusiasts are willing to pay extraordinary sums to acquire a piece that tells a story of chance, human error, and the unexpected outcome of a minting process that usually produces millions of ordinary coins. Collectors often speculate about how such errors come about. The Philadelphia Mint in 1995 was producing millions of quarters for general circulation, and the pressure to meet demand may have caused the quality control process to overlook subtle die misalignments or minor flaws in the planchets, which under normal circumstances would have been discarded. These tiny mistakes, unnoticed at the time, have now turned into the very reasons the coin is worth millions. The thrill of owning a coin like the 1995 P quarter is not just in the monetary value, but in understanding the story behind it, imagining the mint worker who fed the planchet into the press, unaware that a small misalignment would create a historical artifact, and realizing that these errors are permanent and reproducible only under very rare circumstances, meaning that no one can intentionally manufacture a coin of equivalent rarity. Numismatic experts often analyze these coins under magnification, documenting every doubling, crack, and imperfection, because each mark can add or subtract from the value, and this meticulous attention to detail is part of what drives the market to astronomical numbers. The story of this quarter also highlights the broader culture of coin collecting, where enthusiasts are constantly searching for unique pieces, from error coins to limited mintage issues, and each discovery is a combination of luck, knowledge, and timing. In fact, some collectors have spent years searching rolls of coins from 1995, looking for that one quarter with the perfect double die or off-center strike, and finding it can be life-changing, as evidenced by auctions where bidding wars drive prices into the tens of millions. It's important to note that the valuation of $61 million also reflects the speculative nature of rare coin investments. While some coins trade hands privately at even higher sums, others achieve such prices at public auctions where competitive collectors recognize the extreme rarity and historical significance. In addition to its errors, the 1995 P quarter dollar is a reminder of the U.S. Mint's production history, demonstrating how even minor oversights in a highly controlled process can create items of immense collectible value. And this draws parallels to other famous coins in history, such as the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1804 silver dollar, where errors, scarcity, and story converge to create an artifact of extraordinary worth. Many numismatists also appreciate the aesthetic aspect of the errors. The doubling on the letters and numbers can produce a visually striking effect that is both unusual and appealing, transforming a simple coin into a miniature work of accidental art. The metal composition of the quarter, a copper-nickel clad, adds another layer to the challenge of detecting and preserving errors, because some planchet flaws or die cracks may be subtle, requiring careful handling and professional grading to ensure that the coin's value is fully recognized and protected. Grading companies play a critical role in authenticating and assigning value to such coins, using strict criteria to assess condition, error type, and overall rarity. A certified 1995 P quarter with the notable errors documented is more likely to command the $61 million valuation, as buyers have confidence in its authenticity and verified condition. The narrative surrounding this coin also fuels interest in numismatics among younger collectors and enthusiasts who see the potential for extraordinary discoveries in ordinary circulation, inspiring a new generation to examine coins carefully rather than dismissing them as mere currency. Furthermore, the story of the 1995 P quarter is a compelling example of how chance events, misaligned dies, minor flaws in planchets, and insufficient detection during mass production can create an artifact of immense historical and financial significance, underscoring the unpredictable nature of collecting rare coins and the thrill that comes with uncovering them. Collectors and historians alike marvel at how a simple piece of metal, struck in a mass production facility, can achieve legendary status, bridging the gap between ordinary daily life and extraordinary value, reminding us that sometimes human imperfection and mechanical quirks are precisely what transform the mundane into the priceless. The 1995 P quarter's journey from a standard circulation coin to a $61 million collectible exemplifies the unique intersection of error, rarity, preservation, and market demand, and it continues to be a topic of fascination, study, and speculation within the numismatic community, where every detail, from the tiniest doubling on the letter R to the faintest die crack, can influence the story, the desirability, and the price, making it one of the most remarkable and valuable coins in the history of American currency, a symbol of how meticulous observation, passion for collecting, and recognition of subtle anomalies can culminate in a coin whose significance far exceeds its face value, inspiring awe, admiration, and a relentless pursuit among collectors who dream of discovering their own piece of numismatic history. And this incredible quarter stands as a testament to the enduring allure of coin.